The Dallas Mavericks have got to figure this out. After tonight's loss to the Houston Rockets, they fall 3 wins and 2 losses over the first 5 games of the season, and tonight's game was definitely a winnable game. The Dallas Mavericks came out just flat. No energy. We were not able to keep up with the pace that the Houston Rockets came out the gates with, as they just ran away with it in the first half. And we had a little bit of a run in the third, and we really came alive out of the gates in the fourth quarter, but it just wasn't enough. So in this game, we're going to talk about what happened tonight, what went wrong, what went right, and what can the Mavericks do to make sure they don't continue to lose games. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing your latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we're currently sitting at 14,109 subscribers. We're getting very close, less than 800 subs. I'm sorry, I can't do math. Less than 900 subs from our goal of 15,000 subscribers. But if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related, the live streams, the watch-alongs, the giveaways, the post-game vids just like this, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. But tonight's loss was pretty brutal. I mean, when we look back to the other night when we lost to the Phoenix Suns, the refs were very much involved. The Mavericks couldn't get in any type of rhythm, and it was a game that we really could have won. And tonight, it was somewhat similar, but still somewhat different. The refs were pretty bad in the first half of the game, but in the second half, we were able to actually play through. But then again, we really weren't that effective in the first half, as Daniel Gafford and Derrick Lively both got into heavy foul trouble early, to the point where we saw Dwight Powell in the second quarter. Normally, you don't see him until the fourth quarter when the game's already done, but Dwight Powell had to come in early because Jason Kidd just did not know what was going wrong with our center position. Sengun had a decent game, very inefficient, but a decent game, more or less. But in the first half, he was able to just do whatever he wanted. Daniel Gafford, Derrick Lively getting in foul trouble meant they weren't able to be as aggressive in the paint to get rebounds, because that was one of our biggest issues. Again, we can complain about the refs, all night, but the reality of the matter is we could not get rebounds, which allowed the Houston Rockets to get second and third and even fourth chance opportunities to score. And we were also taking just bad shots where it took these guys a little bit too long to really get into the rhythm. And in the fourth quarter, Jason Kidd had the bright idea. Let's put PJ at the 5. And it worked. We were actually able to get stops, allow our offense to get set. Kyrie caught a flamethrower, as at one point he was the only player who had any made threes for us. And then Klay Thompson's 3 started to fall. Luka's 3 started to fall. The offense started coming together as PJ at the 5 was holding Sengun to 0 points in the fourth quarter. And then Najee Marshall, which a lot of people have been talking about Najee. I see the comments. Y'all want Najee gone. But what I've seen over the last 2 games from Najee Marshall is the fact that we can trust him in late games, late in the fourth, when the game is on the line. He had great stops, great steals. He was switching on defenders, ready to help out if necessary. He was everywhere. The lineup that we ended the game with was a lineup that may be our best lineup, but it's got to start from the tip-off. We can't wait till the fourth quarter to figure things out. But let's go and look at the box score, shall we? PJ Washington. The box score may not tell it, but PJ Washington had a great game, especially down in the fourth. He had 6 points, 3 blocks, 3 steals, 1 assist, 9 rebounds, was 0 of 2 from 3, and 3 of 6 from the floor. And Daniel Gafford struggled, but it wasn't really his fault. He had only 6 points, 2 blocks, 1 assist, only 3 rebounds. He was 3 of 4 from the floor. Again, he couldn't do anything. He had 4 personal fouls. For whatever reason, the Houston Rockets knew exactly what to do. If they wanted to cripple the Dallas Mavericks, take out our bigs, make them incapable of being effective. And again, I'm not blaming Gafford and Lively. They had bad games, but it's more so credit to the Rockets on how they made Gafford and Lively ineffective versus Lively and Gafford both simultaneously having a bad game. But Kyrie Irving played 43 minutes. It's a 48-minute game. He played 43 minutes, was trying his best to will it in. Had 28 points, had 3 turnovers, but had 7 assists, 8 rebounds, was 3 of 3 from the free throw line. Surprised he even got to the line. Was 5 of 6 from 3, and was 10 of 20 from the floor. Kyrie Irving in back-to-back games continues to show that he is here to help us win games. We can rely on Kyrie, but we can't waste a great performance if we're going to end up losing the game. And Luka Doncic, the one that we really got to talk about, because I put out a video the other day saying I trust Luka, he's going to get it together, we got to just stay positive. And if you look at the box score, it makes you think he had a great game. I mean, he had, 29 points, had only 1 turnover, 1 steal, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, was 2 of 4 from the free throw line, 3 of 7 from 3, and 12 of 25 from the floor. That stat line alone makes you think, wow, that's a pretty good game. May not be the triple-double that Luka normally puts up, not the 30-plus point game that he normally does, but man, that's a pretty good outcome for Luka. How did we lose? Well, the fact of the matter is the majority of that production didn't come until the fourth quarter. It didn't come until late in the game after we had to sit Luka for the majority of the third for him to cool off. He was also getting in foul trouble as well. The refs were egregious on both sides of the floor because both teams took a lot of free throws. But when Luka came in the fourth quarter, when we had a completely different lineup, that's when the shots started falling. That's when Luka was able to score. That's when we almost came back and won this. This game was well within 3 to 5 points at one time. It just wasn't enough. And if we came out the gates with more energy, if we played faster, a much faster pace, because the Rockets came out swinging. They were just running and gunning the whole time as this game started, and we were trying to slow it down. And maybe this team needs to learn how to play at a faster pace and not try to dictate the pace so much. Some teams, you can definitely slow it down and beat them that way. Some teams are just going to outrun you, like the Houston Rockets did tonight. So all in all, Luka Doncic, did he have a good game? I'm going to let you guys decide it because I watched the game. From what I saw, the box score tells a different story. But Klay Thompson, this was probably his worst game so far. He gets a pass from me. I would have loved to see more of him. He played 30 minutes, didn't really feel like he was out there much, but he had 12 points, 1 steal, 1 assist, 1 rebound, was 2 of 9 from 3, 5 of 13 from the floor. Took a while for him to get going. Give him a pass. It sucks. We definitely could have used him, but he can't do it all. Everybody else has to step up. But off the bench, Najee Marshall. Najee Marshall was 2 of 3 from the field with 4 points, 1 block, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. He was 0 of 1 from 3. But in my opinion, Najee Marshall looked really good. Definitely in the fourth quarter. Definitely at the end of the game. If we could close games with a lineup of Klay Thompson, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, PJ, and Najee, that's a small ball lineup that I trust. That's a small ball lineup that makes me feel like we can win a game or come back, because that's exactly what happened. Najee Marshall played excellent defense, a lot of switching, a lot of help defense. He was everywhere, picking guys up full court at the half. Like he was everywhere. Najee Marshall, in my opinion, had a great game. Maybe not a fantastic game, but this was arguably his best game. And this is the second game in a row. If you remember in the Minnesota game, late in the fourth, Najee was in the game late, and he was huge. He got a steal on Ant that really helped us seal the game. So Najee Marshall slowly starting to find his rhythm, slowly starting to find his groove, played 22 minutes. He also was a +9. If I'm not mistaken, that's the second highest +minus. Jaden Hardy was a +10. Limited minutes, only 11, but Najee Marshall +9, one of the only positives. Dwight Powell, 6 minutes because we needed him when Derrick Lively and Daniel Gafford were in foul trouble. He had 4 points. He also had a quick foul, but, Dwight Powell doing all the things that you need him to do, right? And Derrick Lively, just like Gafford, he struggled. Had 6 points, 1 block, 2 assists, only 3 rebounds, was 2 of 4 from the floor. Dinwiddie in 12 minutes missed all of his shots, but he made all his free throws. He had that great game a few games ago, and then it's kind of like, okay, are we getting a little bit too overzealous with Spencer Dinwiddie? Do we need to shorten that leash, or is this just a bad game? A lot of questions that we need answers to. And Quentin Grimes, I think, had a pretty solid game, just kind of everywhere, doing a lot of small things, nothing too spectacular. And then there's Jaden Hardy. He had 2 points, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 2 rebounds. Was 1 of 3 from the floor, 0 of 1 from 3. We got to get the 3-point shot up. Both teams did not shoot the 3 ball that well. Both teams didn't really shoot their free throws that well. Both teams didn't shoot that well from the floor. The difference is the Houston Rockets out-rebounded us by 13 rebounds. They had 13 more rebounds. We had 37 as a team. They had 50, meaning they're getting second-chance opportunities, third, fourth, fifth-chance opportunities as they're able to box out and get into position to where the rebound's going to be. Meanwhile, we're standing around just trying to figure it out on the fly. We did not come into this game prepared. I don't want to be too hard on the guys because with this new squad, this new lineup, you got to kind of figure it out. Is the lineup that we have to start the game the right lineup for Luka to be effective, or do we need to put someone on the bench in order to open things up for Luka Doncic? We need Luka Doncic. I'm not blaming him for this game. I'm not really blaming anybody. We lost as a team. But if we're being honest, we need Luka Doncic to be Luka Doncic. If Luka comes out and is playing just like himself, we win this game. It's a completely different story. We need to be more prepared for these teams. These teams aren't the same as last year. This isn't the same Rockets team that we knocked out of play-in contention last season. They just beat us and home in front of everybody. We got to do better out the gate. But there are a few good things that we do want to take a look at. If we took a look at right here, well, I guess not really a good thing, but 6 combined rebounds between our big men in 30 minutes combined is, well, it's not going to cut it. And like I said, the Rockets defense, shout out to whatever plan that they had, but they made sure Lively and Gafford were not able to be effective at all. They were not allowed to play basketball. But PJ was. PJ did a very good job playing against Sengun in the fourth. Definitely what we might want to have gone to a little bit earlier in the game. But another thing, this was a tweet from the homie, Slightly Biased, saying 8 total fouls, 5 minutes into the game. Please fix this, man, at NBA. Yeah, like I said, I'm not sitting here blaming the refs, but it kind of went, the whistle was going both ways. Just foul after foul after foul, and it's like, some of these fouls aren't even that bad. And then you're also missing a lot of obvious calls too. You're taking the game out of the game, and these players are getting, they're having a hard time finding their rhythm. But in spite of all of that, we still have to find ways to win. We got to figure it out. And the last thing I want to point at is this right here. PJ Washington's defense on Alfred Sengun was incredible in the fourth quarter. Sengun had 0 points in that entire quarter. Like I said, Sengun really didn't have an efficient game, but if you take a look at his box score, he was able to do whatever he wanted. The Dallas Mavericks have about 2 days off. We play against the Orlando Magic on Sunday, and there is the injury update as Paolo Banchero took a weird hit. I wasn't watching the game. Just the report came out that he injured his hip and will be missing 4 to 6 weeks. You don't want to see players get injured, but if that's our saving grace before Sunday so we can just get a dub, then I'm all for it. But make sure you subscribe. We're going to be going live for all these games, and if you want to hang out and have a headache with me, why not, right? But let me know in the comment section down below. Who do you think stood on business? I'm not really too sure. I want to say Kyrie. The box score says Luka. PJ played well. I don't think anybody stood on business. We lost as a team. But if you think someone did, let me know in the comment section down below. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for making this far into the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are going to do our giveaways every single month, the beginning of every month. And the only way to enter those giveaways is to become a channel member of any tier. But until next time, y'all take care, drink water. Peace.